サインしてきます。なんかの展示会で2010年エイプリル。
Moment in time, the law will end up back at the Supreme Court over the constitutionality of the subsidies that the regime is passing out that probably are illegal. But that won't be known until the court actually rules on this. Let me grab a call about this. We've got Pete in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Hey, Pete, I'm glad you called, and welcome to the program. Hello. Pete, are you there? Yeah, hi, Pete.
Hi. My quick question for you is, why do you think that this professor would say about this bill right now? Why do you think that he would say he couldn't be transparent and they had to be misleading about the bill now after Republicans have taken majorities in Congress and the House?
Well, he said it a year ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He said it a year ago, and the reason he said it was arrogance. He's speaking to some like-minded economists at a conference of economists, the 24th annual, he hung up, what is it, 24th annual, let me find it here. Yeah, 24th annual Health Economics Conference. So he was speaking to what he thought some like-minded people. This is a YouTube, by the way, this is one of these uncovered videos. The news media didn't cover this. The drive-by media didn't get this. This is a YouTube video from within the conference. This hasn't made the mainstream media, folks. No, he thought he was speaking to some like-minded people who were as smart as he and held the same basic opinion, low opinion of the American people. And he was relating to them. And he was giving them the inside scoop. He was not at all intimidated. This is not a faux pas. He wasn't misspeaking. You have to understand the arrogance these people walk around with and the conceit that they have. And by the way, a year ago, the Supreme Court's ruled this guy thinks it's home free now. So it doesn't matter what we say. They can't stop it. They can't do anything about it now. He wasn't thinking about it being an election. And in fact, it wasn't a factor in the election. We hear about this after. So it's just arrogance and conceit. And the fact that he thought he was in a room with a bunch of like-minded people, that he could be open and honest about what they had to do. And by the way, I'll add to it. I'm sure that he thought he was being very brilliant. I mean, he was sharing with his audience what has to be done to make progressive things happen in this country. You've got to lie to American people. We can't count on their intelligence to understand us. We cannot rely, because they do not have enough intelligence to keep up with us and to know how much wonderful that we have planned for them. So we have to lie to them in order to get them. The real thing that offends them is that they even have to subject themselves to elections, or that their ideas even get put up to a vote. Obama has presided over two devastating defeats for the Democrat Party. Did you see Bob Woodward on Face the Nation yesterday? Bob Woodward on Face the Nation yesterday said that he hears from Democrats, not just Republicans, who hate Obama as well. Bob Woodward said to Bob Schieffer, that's absolutely true. You get the Democrats in private and they're on fire because he won't spend the time, he won't listen. I mean, the Democrats tell me privately they hate Obama too. This is Bob Woodward. Well, there's a reason why Dan Balls, of all people, in the Washington Post yesterday has a column or a story, and the headline is, 2 midterm elections have hollowed out the Democrat Party. And that's right on the money. 2 elections, 2010 and 2014, have hollowed out this party and exposed this party for what it is, Jurassic Park. And by hanging on and holding on the way they have eliminated the the evolution of a bench of young, energetic, charismatic Democrats. All the Democrats that are out there are a bunch of old foxes. Like Pelosi, like Reid, like Boxer, like Feinstein, Larry Landrieu. I mean, you name it. Let me give you a couple full quotes from this piece. But a political party cannot be constructed around two people, Obama and Clinton, as the Democrats seem to be constructed today. It is a golden, shiny, fat pitch for the GOP to educate people on conservative ideas. That's Paul didn't write that. That's exactly what this is. I say that very frustratingly because I don't know that that's the point of view held by Republicans. But man, what an opportunity this is. And 2010 was too. Now, Dan Ball says none of this means the Democrats are going to lose in 2016. The coalition that Obama assembled to win in 2008 and 2012, to the degree it remains intact, gives them a head start in a national campaign, as does the electoral map. And those realities continue to worry many Republicans. But before he gets to that point, Dan Ball's writes about how Obama and these two elections have literally hollowed out and destroyed the Democrat Party. And you will not hear this discussed on TV. You will not hear this discussed on cable news anywhere. You will not hear it. It doesn't fit any soap opera script. All you're going to continue to read about is divisions in the Republican Party. You're going to continue to read about how Republicans want to do nothing about reviving Reaganism. You're going to continue to read about this Republican or that conservative thinks leave Reagan alone. 20 years ago, you're going to end up thinking there's no unity on the Republican side even after this big win. And you're going to end up thinking the Republicans are tearing themselves apart. What you're not going to hear is how devastated the Democrat Party is. The past two midterm elections have been cruel to Democrats, costing them control of the House and now the Senate, and producing a cumulative wipeout in the states. And that's another thing that's not being discussed. There are 23 states where the Republicans hold the governorship and the legislature. 23. In only 5 states can the Democrats make that claim. The 2010 and 2014 elections saw the defeat of younger Democrat politicians, some in office, others seeking it, who might have become national leaders. As the post-Obama era nears, the Democrats' best-known leaders in Washington are almost entirely from an older generation, from the vice presidency to most of the major leadership offices in the House and Senate. The generation in waiting is going to have to wait a little longer. And Hillary Clinton is thrown in with the Jurassic Park crowd in this piece. But I want to expand on this a little bit, but before I got to take a break here, before I get there, one reminder from last week. The Democrat Party used to be a bunch of disparate coalitions that were united by a couple of things. The belief in big government and government control over as much of the country as possible, and hatred for conservatives. And that's how you would have the feminists over here and the environmentalist wackos and the animal rights people and the Civil Rights Coalition. And they all had competing interests, but when it came to the things they had in common, they were united in their belief that government should grow bigger and more powerful, and people should have less freedom, taxes should go up and up and up, and the Republicans were the absolute modern incarnate of the devil. But the Democrat Party is different now, and I don't think Balls kind of realizes how he gets so close to describing it. He doesn't see it, I don't think. The Democrat Party is now made up, I think, of 2 groups. And I'll explain what I mean when I get back from this obscene profit timeout. Don't go away.
What the left doesn't want you to hear. Rush on the EI Beams Network. Power Talk on AFM Radio, where left and right collide.
Billy, come closer, Billy. Now, I need you to do something very important for me, okay? I need you to mail this treasure map to your mother. But don't put it in a box that was once used for alcohol, bleach, or any other material restricted by the military postal service. Going up. Brock, buddy. What's with the military postal service stuff?
Well, I just feel like people should know if they mail a package in a box labeled with hazardous material information, the MPS will have to handle it as if those materials are actually inside. You see, this means the package will be returned to its sender.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, listen, these are your last words in this big scene, okay? Now, which is more important, getting Billy to send this map to your archaeologist wife or some postal regulation? Everyone, we're going again! We're going out back to one. Here we go.
Action!
Billy, come closer, Billy. Now, put this in a box that doesn't have...
Oh, for the love of God!
This is NIH Health Matters. Researchers have found that 7 different mutations in one specific gene create abnormal versions of an enzyme involved in testicular function and growth. Dr. Konstantin Stratakis with the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development says the mutations appear to increase risk of developing a tumor, but don't cause cancer directly.
It has been said that we all carry anywhere from 7 to 10 mutations in important genes. We don't necessarily have disease as a result of these mutations, but we are carriers of mutations that are potentially giving us disease.
For more information, visit www.nih.gov. Health Matters is produced by the National Institutes of Health, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath. You can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on. Let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all 3 Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood. When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Everybody asks me, and some of you have on this forum, when did the Democrat Party become so extremist leftist? When did it happen? And I always point back to the Kennedy assassination as the starting point for the modern evolution of the Democrat Party. But in the old days, as I said, the Democrat Party was all these disparate coalitions unified by a couple of things. But it's, I think, a different structure now. I even saw a piece, I forget where, last week on the web that made this same point. The Democrat Party is now, with the arrival of Obama and groups like Acorn, the old Democrat Party, what Balls is writing here about how it's been hollowed out, is typified by these aging Jurassic Park Democrats, including Bill and Hillary and Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, all of these names, and they comprise what for lack of a better term, I would call the Union Thug wing of the Democrat Party. These are the old party bosses. They are Daley types that would use muscle and intimidation, and they would engage in fraud and cheat whenever they had to. And it was not a game. It was more than a way of life. It was a blood. It wasn't even a blood sport. It was their reality. And winning elections was everything. The only thing that mattered. And winning elections was the only way the agenda could be advanced. But that group, while it still exists, is doing battle with another group within the Democrat Party, and that one's typified by Obama. And that is this new, relatively new, at least publicly new, Flacco, extreme left progressive Democrat Party, which is made up of community organizers, Acorn, I mean, you name it, groups like this, and Obama. And the point about them is, I mean, they're just as leftist as the Harry Reid and Pelosi wing, but they have a different agenda about moving forward. Winning elections to them is cool, but they don't have to. They don't feel thwarted at all when they lose an election because they're working in parts of our society at various levels of the culture to advance their agenda regardless of elections. And that group tends to be much younger than these old dinosaurs. And the young progressive crowd is beginning to look at the Harry Reid and Clinton and all that era of the Democrat Party as the problem. The old war horses they're the ones losing. They're the ones being rejected. They're the ones out of touch. They're the ones that are not leftist enough. They're not tough enough. They're not smart enough, as evidenced by these last two elections. And it's that young progressive wing that I think poses they all pose a threat. It's a minute difference in terms of which poses the greater. But I have to stop because the time is don't go away.
There's more. Nationwide rush on the EIP network. The left and right collide on AFN Radio's Power Talk.
This is NIH Health Matters. Cancer is a leading cause of death in Latin America.
So they have a tremendous problem in terms of the prevalence and the incidence of cancer in Latin America.
Dr. Jorge Gomez is with the National Cancer Institute.
And I think we haven't seen that problem here in the United States because the Hispanic population here in the United States is a little bit younger. But we will see it in the near future. So we need to be prepared for that.
A new NCI alliance with the Chilean Ministry of Health aims to accelerate progress against cancer by collaborating in a broad range of mutual research interests. For more information, visit www.nih.gov. Health Matters is produced by the National Institutes of Health, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Card shouldn't be able to do much harm. I mean, it's only a piece of plastic. It's not like it's a drug. Oh, sure, using credit can hook you in, make you feel good when you use it, and then make you feel horrible when you can't get any more of it. Okay, it can cause the same emotional upheaval in friendships and relationships, and of course, it can leave you financially devastated. But it's different. It's just a piece of plastic, right? If you think you could have a problem with credit cards, please, get help.
Is NIH Health Matters. Sarcoidosis is a multisystemic inflammatory disorder of unknown cause and has no cure. The disease's round microscopic lumps called granulomas can clear up on their own or cause chronic problems such as arthritis. Some individuals have sarcoidosis without even knowing it.
It's been well substantiated that we don't find all the cases.
While Dr. Herbert Reynolds of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute acknowledges that people of all ages and races are at risk, sarcoidosis affects women more than men and African Americans more than whites. Although there is no cure, patients with sarcoidosis can lead active, normal lives. For more information, visit www.nih.gov. Health Matters is produced by the National Institutes of Health, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
She didn't just visit the sick and poor. She moved in with them. It wasn't convenient, and it wasn't pretty, but they needed help. 12 more then joined this saint of the gutters. They were soon followed by over 4,000 other nuns who gave healing care in orphanages, AIDS hospices, and charity centers. Mother Teresa couldn't do it all, but she gave her all compassion. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
That's it for the first exciting Busy Broadcast. broadcast hour, don't forget, from the Grooveyard of Forgotten Favorites, a Gorbasm coming up probably sometime in the next hour.
Almost wise confusion. What is a leash? A leash exists, my son, to put around the neck of dog so he will not run away.
No, I mean a lease. As when someone wishes to rent an apartment or a home.
Lease. It protects both the landlord and the tenant, but although they are legally binding everywhere, you must be wary. Leases may differ from country to country. Your journey begins at the housing or legal office.
Jones, you're being formally counseled at this time for not showing
Listen,
up.
I like you and all, but I just think
Mr. Jones, your account is extremely delinquent, and we are going to have to turn it over for
When the stresses of life pile up, the risk of suicide may be higher than you think. Be alert for buddies or coworkers who are showing signs of depression or suicidal thoughts. If you or someone you know needs help, see a mental health professional. You might be saving a life.
Power Talk on the American Forces Radio Network has the top-ranked talk radio shows all on a single
Did you know Atsugi offers space-available travel classes? Each month, professionals from the NAF Atsugi Air Terminal give residents the ins and outs of Space Day travel, notify them of all the required documents, sign-up procedures, and even find out the best time to get a flight. Call 264-3372 to enroll or get more information. That's 264-3372 and prepare to travel Space A today.
The Earth is composed of 70% water. But did you know that only 1% of that water is usable? Public Works Department Yokosuka ensures our water is safe for consumption by monitoring, sampling, and maintaining Fleet Activities Yokosuka's water distribution systems. If you'd like to learn more about your water, check out the latest consumer confidence reports on the CNIC website at tinyurl.com/Yokosuka Water.
Asia Pacific leaders agree to a Chinese